Damian Lillard has thus far denied making any formal trade requests, or that he's on the cusp of doing so, though he's also admitted he hasn't made any firm decision on his future. Still, the writing on the wall is clear to see, and it doesn't take an expert to figure out that the clock is ticking on Dame time in Portland. Lillard can say what he wants about the Blazers acting with more urgency in their quest to build a championship team around him, but as we detailed a few weeks ago, years of mismanagement have left the team with no viable path to do so. With it likely being a matter of when, not if, Dame gets moved, let's break down what a potential blockbuster trade might look like. Before we dive into the potential deals and anyone starts complaining that these trade packages are outrageous, you need to understand how rare it is for a player this good to be available with this much term left on his contract. Superstar trades usually take place with said star heading into the final year of their contract. James Harden being dealt with 2.5 guaranteed years left on his deal was already an outlier worth selling the farm for in Brooklyn. Lillard, a 6-time All-Star and 6-time All-NBA selection who's been first or second team All-NBA in each of the last 4 seasons, has 4 years left on his contract. Trading for Dame isn't a 1-year rental and doesn't come with a flight risk. You'd essentially be trading for the remainder of the 31-year-old's prime, the remainder of a top 10 player's prime. So yes, if your team's gonna get serious about trading for Dame, they're gonna have to pony up. And the Blazers, who should be in no rush to get a deal done, will be right to demand a king's ransom.
I want it! I want everything you guys have!
The second thing you need to understand is that with Lillard's 4-year max extension that he signed back in 2019 kicking in this year, Dame's now set to earn $196 million over the remainder of his contract, with a salary of nearly $44 million for the 2021-2022 season. The NBA's salary matching rules mean whoever gets Dame is gonna have to send back a lot of money back the other way. With all of those caveats out of the way, let's look at some of the teams linked to Lillard. The upstart Knicks are considered one of the odds-on favorites to employ Dame next season, and just the sound of that probably has Knicks fans frothing at the mouth.
Yo, give me a shot at it! Let's fucking go! Go New York, go New York, go! We'll be back!
Any Blazers demands of New York likely start with RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, potentially even Obi Toppin, and picks. If the Knicks want to hold on to Julius Randle so that he and Dame can form a star partnership that potentially lures a 3rd star to Madison Square Garden, basically all of the team's youngsters need to be on the table. The Knicks also don't have a lot of money on the books for next season, which means their young, cost-controlled players need to be packaged together to match salaries in a max star trade. If the Knicks put Barrett, Quickley, and Toppin on the table to entice Portland, throw one of Elfrid Payton or Kevin Knox in the mix for salary matching purposes, and include both players selected with the 19th and 21st picks in the 2021 draft, New York can get there from a salary matching perspective. Lillard, Randle, and basically nothing else seems a little bare bones, but you'd have to imagine those two guys, ample cap space, and the lure of New York would finally be enough for the Knicks to land a star free agent too. The Sixers are the other odds-on favorite, and this deal's a lot simpler to construct. Ben Simmons' contract makes this a viable star-for-star swap, but given Simmons' plunging trade value and the ground he needs to make up on Lillard to be anywhere near as valuable on an NBA court, the Blazers would likely demand some draft capital too. Is Daryl Morey prepared to part with Simmons and then some to get Joel Embiid the caliber of offensive star the big man deserves by his side?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
If Miami puts Tyler Hero and Precious Achiuwa on the table, picks up the team options of Goran Dragic and Andre Iguodala, then includes the veteran pair's expiring contracts in a package later in the season, the Heat can come up with the total salary needed to land Dame. But if the team makes Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo untouchable as we expect, Portland can definitely do better. The Heat's draft cupboards are pretty bare after all. Miami had no 2021 picks, doesn't control its own first rounder until 2024, and can't trade a first until 2025. Don't sleep on the Celtics. If Brad Stevens wants to turn over a new leaf in Boston's front office and show that the days of overvaluing homegrown talent under Danny Ainge are over, the Celtics will put Jaylen Brown on the table, add some salary filler and future draft capital to the package, and jump to the front of the line. Brown's a great young player, but the chances he ever touches Dame-level territory are slim to none. And pairing Lillard with Tatum makes Boston a real contender. No one's stepping on Lucky in that scenario. If the Blazers trade Lillard in conference, no West team is better positioned to pounce than the Warriors, who will be mentioned in every star trade conversation that comes up between now and whenever they make their move. Golden State can package an improved Andrew Wiggins, a raw but intriguing James Wiseman, and 2 recently selected 2021 lottery picks. Heck, maybe the Blazers get greedy, as they should, and ask for another youngster like Eric Paschall, or another pick. Either way, the Warriors can get a deal done for Lillard and still have Steph Curry, a returning Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green in the fold.
I mean, how is that fair?
The Clippers aren't getting Lillard without Paul George in the deal, and they're not flipping PG for a player in the same tier as him, even if Dame might be at the top of whatever star tier George is in. Believe it or not, the Kings are reportedly aggressive in their pursuit, but unless Portland really likes Buddy Hield or Harrison Barnes, is a package made up of one of those guys, Tyrese Halliburton and Marvin Bagley plus picks, really the best Portland can do? Does Christian Wood, salary filler, and a player that was just taken near the top of a top-heavy draft get Houston in the mix? If there's a wild card to be found, perhaps it's in Toronto, where Masai Ujiri has proven before he's not afraid to shake things up for a bona fide superstar. If the Raptors are willing to part with one of Pascal Siakam or OG Anunoby, and the youngster they just selected 4th overall in that aforementioned top-heavy draft, does Portland bite? And does a remaining core of Lillard, Fred VanVleet, plus one of Anunoby or Siakam push Toronto back to title contention? Oklahoma City doesn't look ready or willing to contend yet, but the Thunder have an unprecedented collection of draft picks to dangle. Dame might scoff at the thought of OKC, but pairing Lillard with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would make for one of the NBA's best duos. We've already discussed a third of the league, so you can see the options that should be out there for Portland once they come to the realization that Dame's days as a Blazer are numbered, no matter what his contract says. If you're looking for marquee teams that can both satisfy Portland's demands and make Dame happy, one of the Sixers, Celtics, or Warriors probably make the most sense. For now, we sit and wait for the Blazers to accept reality, or for one of those teams, or any of the teams we've mentioned, to make Portland an offer they can't refuse. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.